Hey y'all, I'm Jamie with SavorySaver. I share gluten-free recipes, tips, tricks, and resources to make your gluten-free lifestyle easier. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a gluten-free vanilla wafer pie crust. It only takes a few ingredients. It's perfect for those chocolate pudding pies or cream pies, coconut cream pie, vanilla cream pie, all of those type pies. I have a recipe for a peanut butter pie. I will link down below. It would be perfect for that. Today, I'm using Kinnikinnick vanilla wafers. My wife loves these. As some of you know, I'm not gluten-free. My wife is, so a lot of my meals are gluten-free. I just believe that good food is good food. I don't care if it's gluten-free or not. These things are pretty similar to those Nilla Wafers by Nabisco. I can't really tell a big difference. They've got a good taste, they've got good texture, so we're gonna make a pie crust out of them. So when we open the box, there is about 40 wafers in a box, and the pie crust is gonna take 35 of them. So measure if you want. You want a cup and a half. That's gonna make a 9-inch pie. Now this is not a deep dish. This is just a 9-inch pie dish. If you have something deep dish, you're gonna need to adjust your amounts. Can't really mess this up, guys. It's butter, cookies, a little bit of sugar. So if you need more cookies, add them. If you need more butter, add it. You're not really gonna mess this up. So just adjust a little bit if you need to. So we're gonna crush these up. So I'm gonna try to use this fry pan. We'll see if it works. If it ticks me off and it's all over the place, we'll pop them in this food processor. But I think this is gonna work fine. Plus it's gonna save me some cleanup. It's not really moving fast enough for me with the fry pan. I still don't really want to dirty another dish if I don't have to. Let's try the meat mallet. And you want these pretty fine because we want to make sure we have enough crumbs for one. But you also want to make sure the butter and the sugar all melt with it or mix with it. Okay guys, I think we're good. I don't know how much time that saved us. The food processor would have been faster, but it is saving me having to wash the food processor. So if you have a couple minutes, take out the aggressions. We have a few decent sized pieces in there, but I think they'll be okay. You can go back through it if you want, just use your hands. Now these vanilla wafers, I find them at the grocery store. We're in an area that has Food Lions, which is part of the Del Hayes group, I think. So if you have any grocery stores belonging to that group, you might be able to find it there. I've also seen them at Walmart. I'll link down below if you need to get them online, but definitely look in your grocery store first. I think you're gonna find that they're a little cheaper. If you live near Sprouts, I think we've seen them there. So definitely some places to check out for it. I'm all about getting it online if you have to, but definitely look at those prices because I think they run anywhere between about $3.50 a box to $4 something a box. So you want to make sure you're getting some good cost effectiveness out of it if you can. All right, so we're going to call that good because I think once we press it together, it's not really going to matter. So we want to add a little bit of sugar to it, not a whole lot. This is 2 tablespoons of white sugar. I'm going to use a fork to mix it together first. That'll also help mash these cookies a little bit more. I like to mix it up first because I think it distributes the sugar a little better, and that way there when we add the butter, the sugar's already mixed in there really well. So now I'm going to add my melted butter. This is 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter. If you are dairy-free, you could use margarine. These are dairy-free, nut-free, and soy-free as well. So that would be an easy way to make a a dairy-free crust. And you want to mix everything together until it's kind of sandy. I guess is a good description for it. If you find it's a little dry and you don't think it's going to stick together when you put it in the pie plate, go ahead and add another melted tablespoon of butter. Not going to hurt it any. You don't want it super wet, but you definitely can add a little bit more butter. If you don't want it as sweet, dial back the sugar, because of course there's sugar in the cookies. All right, once we have that mixed, get our pie plate, put all our cookies in there, and then we want to press it in the bottom and up the sides. And I like finding some kind of glass or something that has a nice flat bottom. I think that gives me more leverage and it pushes it in there more evenly for me. So you just want to go in, start pressing, work your way around the pie until it's all nice and tight and sticking over the bottom and the sides. This is dirty now. I kept pressing it in there, wasn't near fine enough. Part of what happens when you're in the kitchen. Some methods work, some don't. So if I'd spent more time making them finer, the cookie crumbs would have been fine, but they weren't where I wanted them. So next time I know that I'll just use the food processor and do the dishes and save a little bit of time. That's part of cooking in the kitchen. Don't get frustrated, just find another method. Look online for another method. There's 1,000 ways to do something. I actually took all the crumbs, threw them in there, butter was in it too, and now I've got the perfect consistency for my crust. So don't give up. One of the things with gluten-free cooking is it's definitely more challenging than traditional cooking, especially when it comes to the baking. So, you know, you got to start somewhere and you got to keep trying, because you can't go back to the gluten. When you get to the edges, make sure you're pressing up against the sides of the pie pan, whichever kind you're using, to make sure it's packed against that too and not just at the bottom. Okay. So we've got our pie crust done. I'm going to bake it in the oven. I've got it set at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to bake it for 8 to 10 minutes. It'll probably turn a little darker, a little more golden. Then we'll take it out, we'll let it cool completely, and then your pie crust is ready to fill. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done. It's probably not going to look a whole lot different than now, but I'll show you anyway. So let's pop it in the oven and we'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, our gluten-free vanilla wafer pie crust is done. It's been in the oven for about 9 to 10 minutes. I took it out, it's still really hot. One thing with this crust is when it first comes out, it's gonna be soft. So you wanna let it cool before you fill it. So if you're gonna put a chocolate cream pie in it or that peanut butter pie recipe that I'm gonna link to below, make sure your crust is cool. I wouldn't even start making the filling for this until this comes out of the oven. That way there you've got a few minutes of cool down time. Spend some time putting your dishes away or something while the pie bakes. So it got a little more golden than it was. So I'm gonna move you guys closer, or I'm gonna move this closer to you and let you see. There's the crust, guys. It's all done. You can see it stayed nice and compact. The sides aren't falling down. Guys, as you just saw, this crust is easy to make, unless of course you're like me and try crushing your cookies with the fry pan first, and then moving to the meat mallet, and then finally I broke down and used the food processor. Do whatever way is easiest and the least amount of cleanup for you. We like these vanilla wafers. They're gluten-free, they're soy-free, they're dairy-free, they're peanut-free by Kinnikinnick. I will link down below to those. Look in your grocery stores and see if you can find them. I hope you like this video. If you do, please consider subscribing and liking below. Leave me any comments on your favorite gluten-free pie crusts. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.